Hello, everyone. Paul Lawrence Vann, and of course, I host this YouTube channel, Leadership is Influence. I hope that you're having a great day and everything is working out well in your life. And I also hope that not only your professional life, but also your personal life, you have wonderful work-life balance. And welcome to this episode. And today, what I'll be talking about is different leadership styles. I think it's very important to understand the different leadership styles. Perhaps you've been working for quite a few years. You've seen a number of different leaders in your experience, and then maybe you're new to the workplace and the workforce, and you're just learning what it's all about. Or if you have been in your career for a long period of time, then you could probably be able to understand and assess some of them that I will be talking about today. And before we get started, just a little bit of background about me. And again, I have attended every leadership school that the United States Air Force had to offer. I was a military officer for over 20 years, and of those 20 years, I served 12 consecutive years in the Pentagon, a place that I always wanted to work at. And I did. I was assigned there for over 12 years. In addition to that, I also was selected to be a Capitol Hill Fellow, and I worked for a member of Congress for a year. And I was a legislative assistant, which gave me a very unique perspective on leadership, not only in the military, but also private industry, where I worked for Mobile Chemical Company for about 2 years. So let's get started, and we're going to start talking about the different leadership traits. And by traits, what we mean is a type of style. What is your style? You may see someone, for example, you may see a coach on the sidelines, and he's demanding that his athletes perform at a higher level. We'll talk about that type of leader. We'll talk about a military leader, which is totally different, a politician, so on and so forth, because it really makes a tremendous difference being able to distinguish them. And last but not least, what is your leadership style? What is your leadership style? That's the question that I'm going to ask you. You may not know it yet, or you may know it. And this particular video is just simply going to help you to understand it a little bit more. So if you're ready, I'm ready. So right off the bat, let's talk about a leadership style that consists of one of coaching, or more motivational. This is one that I tend to prefer, and I tend to prefer that because I'm that type of person. I'm highly motivated, self-motivated, always have been, always will be. But it's a type of leadership style that buys people in. In other words, it really resonates with most people because you're part of the team, and you also know that you have the support of your leadership. And to me, that's always very important. And I will go a mile above what a person asks of me if they have this type of style, because it's the type of style that I have. And so when we talk about coaching and it being motivational, the person just really encourages their employees to how can I help you? How can I help you to succeed? I'm going to put you into this leadership development program. I'm going to put you in this leadership seminar, this leadership workshop. And it's the type of coaching style that one has from a leadership style, but it's one of coaching. So it's more motivational in nature. And so some of you may very well have a supervisor or a manager or a leader who has this type of style. And if you do, you know what it's like. It's very open, it's very engaging, it's all about success, not only the individual success, but your success, the team success, the organization success. It's a good thing, people. It's a good thing. The second one I'm going to talk about now in terms of leadership style is one of a visionary. And this is progress focused, and it's really one that is very inspirational as well. And so when we look at that person who's a visionary, they really open themselves up for allowing creativity, innovation, and they want you to play a role in it. In other words, a vision for a company, that the leader with the title has, and they want to bring you along and they influence you to do so. And it's one of these types of styles that the supervisor or the title leader with the title itself, you would want to do things for them to help them to succeed. And because you're really inspired by their leadership, by their vision. And typically, when you have someone with this leadership style, they are going to be successful. So run with them, go with them, go beyond what is called of you. And you will see that it will work, because when you find a visionary and then they support you in making it happen, for example, making it happen could be a new sales record, it could be building a better product, it could be an industry leader, or it becomes the work and effort becomes a leadership, becomes a industry standard. And so you definitely want to work with this individual, because as they succeed, so do you. You want to be on this team that this visionary is putting together, because they're going to break records of all kinds, and they're going to win organizational excellence awards. And that's what really it's all about. So your work will not be in vain, but your work will live in infamy, as they say. Yes, it's a good thing. The next one is a servant or humble and protective leadership style. And this type of style is the person who is willing to do what it takes to help you to succeed and help the organization to succeed. And so this person is willing to put you out and put you out there to become the best that you can be. They're going to serve you. Whatever you need to make your organization, your team stronger, they're going to allow you to do that. They're going to put you out there. We're going to see if you can achieve this. And if they mark it up on the board, this is our progress today. This is where we want to be 3 months, 90 days, or 60 days out, or in 6 months out. And they just simply want to put it out there and give you this goal. And your team is going to set the goal and you're going to go for it. Why not? That's why you're there, because in the end, it does what? It increases the business performance. And that's the exact reason why companies, businesses, and organizations exist. It's all based on performance. And if you have a leader who is a servant and one who's humble, so that falls into that category of empathy, which a lot of employees really look up to people like that, because it means that they're real, they're authentic, and they're just like me. You know, if you see a person giving a speech and it's, I did this and I did that, most people cannot identify with that because they have not had that type of experience. But if you put the warts out there, and the warts are like, you know, before I became successful, I was literally digging ditches. I was really out there and I was on my last leg. If this one thing didn't work out, it was over for me. That type of thing is what I'm talking about. You see someone who's humble and they came up on the rough side of the mountain, and they have experiences very much like the people who are sitting, for example, in an audience, and they're listening to this and they're saying, you know, I went through that too. And they're going to really listen because they want to see how your story is different from their story. And that's where that servant and humble and protective leadership style is. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is autocratic. So it's authoritarian, and it's multi-result focused. And so when you look at autocratic, you kind of look at it from the standpoint of, you're not so sure if you want to work in this type of, where people just, you get it done and you get it done now, or you get it done and you get it done yesterday. In the military, we used to call that the brown shoe approach, where you either do it or you're out of here. And that really doesn't work anymore. I tell you what, it does not work for Generation Z. And a lot of times this is not very successful, because when people are looking for other options, when someone is demanding things of them and the style that they have. And so it's up to you. If you take this leadership approach, you are going to have a tough time, because the way the society is now, the workforce and the workplace, people have choices. And the pandemic exposed a lot of these type of things to employees, to people in the company, to shareholders, and it does not float the boat. And so it's a choice. I'm just putting it out here that as an autocratic leader, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But I know it exists depending on what the industry happens to be. The next one, which is number 5, is the laissez-faire approach or the hands-off approach. And what it is autocratic and what you call is delegatory, which means you're going to have a leader and they're going to really let you do the job and they're going to just delegate, delegate, delegate. I'm not so sure if you're going to get the results. That leader is going to get the results that they're looking for with this style, but I at least want you to know that it exists, it's out there. Some of you may have experienced it. Some of you may never want to experience it. I believe I've been through this leadership style before, but I'm the type of person that I've been through so much that nothing really bothers me. I get the job done and I keep moving because that's not my focus. My focus is performance. It's all about performance. I can even say, even with a football coach, I had a football coach like that before. And yeah, we got the job done. We started out season 5-0, but after a while, that approach didn't work for us. So I think we ended up on a 7-3 end of year record, and we went to the playoffs. So it worked, but it would have worked more effectively with another leadership style. I'll just leave it at that. How about that? Okay, the next one is a democratic, or what we call a supportive and innovative style. Now, this also is a very, what you would call a very successful leadership style. And that is one where we take a vote. Okay, if we're going to go in this direction with the business operation, then we need a show of hands, and we decide on this decision. We're going to move forward with it. And we can't blame anyone else because we all voted for this. So you're getting what you asked for in more ways than one, but it's another leadership style to consider. But the leader is very supportive, and he looks for, or she looks for innovativeness, or we can say creativity as well. And it's something to consider when we look at what's considered a common leadership style. So be aware of it. You'll know it when you're in the experience, and it's something that you can just look back on and say, hey, you know what? I remember Paul talking about that. Yeah, Paul is talking about it because he's been through it. I've had some really great bosses over the years, women and men. I've enjoyed, as long as the individual treats you with fairness and they allow you to be yourself, your authentic self, then I can work with anyone like that. But if someone you have in a leadership position by title, and they want you to do things that you know are not legal, meaning it breaks the policies or rules of the organization, then I'm not your guy. You know, I'm kind of by the book because I don't want to have to pay a price for someone else that's told me to do something that they know is outside of the policies and something that can get the organization or company in trouble. I'll just leave it at that. The next one is the pace setter. And they're very helpful and very motivational. In other words, they set goals for their organization, for their team, for their company, and they expect you to reach them. And they will monitor it, see what your status is, have it up on the board. Here's the calendar. Here is the workflow that supports it. And we want to see how close we can get to it or exceed it. But they will inspire you and they will be helpful in that process. But it's something that you want to at least consider as in terms of it being at a pace setter role. It could be, if let's say, for example, if I worked was still working at UPS now, like I did in college. And so you have certain goals that you have set because you're dealing with the clock, you're dealing with people working, you're looking at logistics, trucks coming in and going out with different products, different locally as well as interstate and going into other states. So it's a pace setter. It's pretty good, and they will motivate you and inspire you to keep moving forward because they have goals, and many of them are short-term goals, but it gets the job done. So the eighth one is more of a transformational. You're looking at challenging, and it takes a lot of communication. So something transformative means it's something new, and we need to accomplish this, and we have just a certain amount of time to do it in. But over the life cycle of this transformational leadership, a lot of change will be coming. And it does take and requires a lot of challenges to be taken on by everyone at every level, not only the leader with the title, and also with the managers who manage the employees or the workflow, and then the employees themselves, because remember, everyone is in a leadership position, so you have to see if they mesh. And so when you're looking at one transformational, you may be looking at a new project that's coming out. It's going to change the industry. It very well could be something like a chat GPT, but on a more of a organizational, a company level, as opposed to an entrepreneur, a solopreneur level, if you want to look at some differences. So there's some transformation that's taking place all along the line. And then you're going to have this transactional leadership style, which is really performance focused. So it's almost if you're working with a leader and they bring on, let's say, some subcontractors. Let's say if you have a communication systems and you may just decide, hey, I think I'll give AT&T a call. I'll give T-Mobile a call. I'll give one of these communications companies a call and see what we can do. And it's more of a transaction that's taking place more than anything, but it's performance focused and maybe a contract associated with it, just as an example. And you want to ensure that you understand that it may be a one-time type of collaboration or deal. So you want to ensure that you understand this type of leader as well. And then the last one I'm going to share with you is more of a bureaucratic. It has a hierarchical perspective, and it's duty focused. It sounds kind of like the military to a certain extent, because you always have a hierarchy of someone with the rank that they have, or it could be a company, it could be a executive vice president or CEO. It very well could be a what we would call a mid-level manager. And so you have a hierarchy of rank and grade or title. And it has this a lot of paperwork, you dot the I's, cross the T type of thing. And you have to just let things happen, but you'll be documenting everything that's taken place all along the line. So it's more maybe even look at a federal government type position or state government type position. So it could very well be for some major city government type of leadership that's taken place. But it's some certain things has to be done. They have policies, they have different principles in which they follow, and federal and state regulations may be brought to bear in regards to this. So I'll go over this just a little bit, but most importantly with this particular video is just sharing what some of the leadership styles that people have, and the different traits that kind of fall under them. And I'll just go over them real quick, just as a reminder. One is the coaching or one of motivational style of leadership. The next one is more of a visionary. And so this is progress focused and more inspirational. And then you have the servant, almost like we say the servant leader, so to speak, and one who is humble and protective of their organization and the employees. And then we have the autocratic. So it's more of an authoritarian type of approach and very results focused. You have the laissez-faire or hands-off more of an autocratic and more of a delegatory. So you're delegating, 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 and you're still striving to get the job done. And then you have the democratic, which is more supportive and innovative. You have the pace setter, which is more helpful and motivational. And then you have the transformational leader, which is challenging and very communicative, because that's what it takes with that type of leadership style. Then the transactional, which is more of a performance focus, and then bureaucratic, which is more of a hierarchical perspective and duty focused. And again, what I want you to take from this is the fact that there are different leadership styles that exist, and it's actually more than what I covered here. But I wanted to just give you an idea. I want you to think in terms of yourself, because this is really all about you, those of you who are viewing this and listening. And I want you to understand that you are going to eventually have a leadership style, or you have one now. And I'm just showing you, and I want you to do some more research on different leadership styles. And then I want you to focus on, where are you on that list that I just shared with you? Because at some point, you're going to be one of them. Which one is it going to be? Which one do you want it to be? Or what type of leadership style do you enjoy working under as an employee leader or as a management leader? And so you need to start understanding this and start pulling it together. Who am I? That's the ultimate question I ask people. Who am I in this world of leadership? And I want you to ask yourself this, because at some point, and you reach that level of leadership that you've already always strive for, you're going to have a leadership style, and people are going to recognize it, people who know the difference. And the best thing that I can tell you to be a good leader today in this post-pandemic workforce and the workplace is you have to be really very accommodating, because you want to be able to retain the top talent that's out there. And that's the greatest challenge for people. Then you have to look at these hybrid workplaces and the hybrid workforce. Employees working part-time in the office, and the rest of the time they're working from home from a virtual standpoint. And a lot of businesses being conducted this way, not only from a state perspective, local, but also nationally and internationally. So there's a lot of things for one to consider nowadays compared to what it used to be. And so I want you to better understand the leadership styles, and observe when you're at your workplace the style of your leader or the style of your manager, and then start considering what is your style as an employee. And that will help you to better understand what I'm talking about in terms of becoming the best leader you can be, and then ultimately becoming a leader of influence. So if you want to learn more about me and what I do, I have a link posted here, and you can go there and learn more about me. I have it on a link tree. Go to https://link, linktr.ee/Paul Lawrence Vann. And you'll be able to learn more about my leadership speeches. You'll learn about my leadership development workshops. You'll be able to see some courses that I have, the books that I have, and also you'll be able to take a look at some of the coaching that I provide, and different podcasts that I also host. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. I want you to become the best leader you can possibly become. And it's possible. Because it was possible for me, it's definitely possible for you. And I like to inspire and tell everyone that you are more than worth it. You're priceless. You, my friend, no one else in the world are like you. No one else in the universe is like you. You're very unique. You have unique knowledge, skills, abilities, and you should apply those every opportunity that you get. And thank you so much for listening to today. Also, I ask that you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Leadership is Influence. Recommend it to your friends. your colleagues, your family, and those that you work with. And I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Paul Lawrence Vann. I'll see you on the next episode of Leadership as Influence. Have a great day and continued excellence in all you do. And as always, my time is up, and I thank you for yours. Enjoy your day, and thank you so much.